good, everybody? And today we're going to be talking about the elephant in the room. I know, I think it's about time that we sit down and have a very difficult conversation about Zani. I think it's time. It's been a while. Let's have the conversation. So as we all know, in 2.7, we're getting 2 reruns. Obviously, with Galbreno, we're getting Lupa, and then with Chiyuan, we're also getting Zani. I believe this is her first time getting a rerun properly like this. And she's a very sought after character. Let's not forget, she was literally the most sought after character in WoW when the first initial lineup of all the Renacita characters came out. She was the hottest. People liked her in the story. People wanted to play her. People thought she looked absolutely badass. And then when she came out, there was obviously a lot of drama and controversy surrounding her. So now I think it's time to revisit the situation and ask ourselves the question: is Zani a worthwhile pick to have on the rerun, considering she was so hyped, so sought after, so loved by the community? How good is she actually really? And I think it's time for us to kind of like see the reality of the situation here, and just kind of say it how it is. I'm just gonna be straight up. I feel Zani is a trap pick for a rerun. I was very shocked that they decided to run her first like this, and I consider Zani to be a trap pull for you in a rerun for the simple reason is that, guys, she's someone who is not very flexible in terms of team building whatsoever. She is a character where her entire kit revolves around using spectrofrazzle that's generated by other characters. Okay, mainly Spectre, Rover, and Peeb. Those are the only 2 characters that can do. Well, you have Chikona too, but we can talk about that later. Spectre, Rover, and Peeb are the only 2 characters that really sufficiently can give her the Spectrofrazzle that she needs to perform her job. She is really the only character in the whole game that is so dependent on another character like this to even like function properly that it becomes a little bit of an issue. It becomes a lot more limiting and it becomes way less flexible, which is kind of, you know, saying something. Def a trap, yeah, it's I like to call her a trap, and especially for new players. Okay, and for new players, I would say it's even more of a trap. If you're not someone who wants to get in the weeds and level up your skill while you're playing Wuthering Waves, Zani is not as comfortable to use, and we're gonna go through a few things first. But I want to put out, she's also a character where I would, under any circumstance, recommend pulling her weapon. Okay, Zani without her weapon just feels kind of rough. You could use Verity's Handle, you could use Tragicomedy, you could use these, but hey, if you're not pulling for certain characters, I'd recommend getting her weapon. And here's the thing, Zani with Peeb is a very comfortable team to use. It's a very straightforward, simple rotation team to use, and you could get the damage that you need out of the team. Zani with Spectre Rover is a little bit more difficult. It's a little more difficult to set up, but you can definitely get there and get the results that you need, but requires a lot more investment into Zani, a lot more timing, maybe a few more resets, and leveling up your skill ceiling a bit to kind of use this team properly. Which is why Zani is one of those characters where I would say that I wouldn't pull for her unless you kind of sure to yourself that you're probably going to pick up Peeb in the future. That's how much comfier Peeb makes Zani to play, because Peeb is able to give Zani all the Spectrofrazzle stacks that she needs within one rotation very easily. No need to quick swap, no need to be swapping in and out of Rover or anything like that. Peeb is able to generate your Spectrofrazzle like within the one rotation very quickly, and it simplifies her playtime, so her playstyle so much that it becomes like a lot comfier for Zani. And again, I don't understand why Kuro thought it would be a great idea to make a character so dependent on Spectrofrazzle like this to even function normally. I just really don't understand why they decided to do this. So if you're a new player and you're coming to Wuthering Waves and you think Zani is hot and amazing, pull for her if you like her, okay? Pull for her if you like her. But in terms of like pull cost and pull value, if you're a free-to-play player, you're gonna have to be comfortable knowing that you're gonna have to get to grips with Spectre Rover. You're going to have to maybe dabble in quick swapping a bit more, especially if you want to take Zani on to like towers like 3 and 4. You're gonna have to want to brush up on your skills like quite immensely, which is a kind of a tough ask and a tough demand to do of a free-to-play player. To get to the same levels as Cardathea and Aero Rover in a team with Shorekeeper, to get them on the same level, it needs so many different levels of investment, and it's one of the biggest like question marks that I have in Wuthering Waves of why the team decided to make a kit like this. So she's a warning flag. That's all I have to say. Zani is very much a warning flag when it comes to picking her for a rerun. Again, if you just like her, you don't care about doing endgame, you don't care about having the best numbers, you just want to pull because she looks cool, absolutely fine, go for it. But here's the thing, she's inflexible. In the overworld, using her on her own is still painful, again, without using Spectro Frazzle characters. She's very niche into her team to get the same results as any other team would have, and it's just kind of unfortunate. Yeah, her difficulty isn't for beginners. It's not for the faint of heart to pick up right out of the box, and she feels very much like a character that you have to invest in her and yourself. That's all it is. If you're picking Zani without Peeb, just be prepared to invest in yourself and your own skills, because she kind of needs it. And it's a shame, because she has huge damage potential. Don't get me wrong. She has amazingly huge damage potential in a Spectre Rover team. But without Peeb, you need Spectre Rover. That's it. It's not an if, but, or maybe. It's a need and a requirement. So you're going to have to get used to it regardless. So make sure you're using that and you're considering this when you're thinking of like, who do I want to pull for? Who do I want to pull for? Like, we have some example of like teams here with Prodwen. Spectre Rover is like necessary if you don't have Peeb, and this is why I'm wondering when we're also gonna get a Peeb rerun. So that's really kind of what to say about this. If you're gonna pick up Zani, I'd recommend you also have in mind you're gonna be picking up Peeb in the future. Otherwise, make sure you get good with your skill issue and your quick swapping, which is just not viable. Well, it's viable for new players, but just be prepared to have that level of difficulty. That's really what it is. It would be nice to see more Spectro Frazzle characters, or have another character that can deal Spectro Frazzle. But then we have Chikona. You might be thinking, well, Cap, what if I get Chikona? Wouldn't Chikona be a great edit too? She's able to apply Spectro Frazzle, and the rate at which she applies Spectro Frazzle is just, again, infuriating to use alongside with Zani. Also, given the fact that she doesn't really buff much else. She doesn't really like help with any other way apart from granting the Spectro Frazzle stacks to Zani. I just wouldn't recommend being like, oh, if I get Chikona, because who's on the banner right now? Oh, like someone might think, oh, I have like Chikona. That means like she could do Spectro Frazzle. I could go pick up Zani on the next banner. If you have picked up Chikona thinking that you're going to be using Zani, with Zani on the next banner, you're still going to be wanting Spectro Rover. That's really it. You can use her, but you're still going to be wanting Spectro Rover to fill in your gaps. Because he has the Spectro Shred, for example, everything like that. And it's just... You're just not going to get away with just using Chikona. So that's really the takeaway from this, is just be prepared to become acquainted with our Rover darling. Chat, how do we feel? How do y'all feel about Zani? She's fun as hell when you quick swap. My Zani is S6, so I don't have these problems. Zani made me clear my first ever TOA. She got a cool song. I like her, but it scratches an itch. And that's the thing, right? Zani can have, for some people, Zani has a very fun playstyle. Having the parries, being able to time the parries, some people say it's almost akin to like the fighting game character sort of like archetype, so to speak, that some people love, and some people like the way she feels, and some people love quick swapping. And that's like totally valid if that's the route you want to go down. And I know for other people, she could feel clunky. For me, I never particularly use her that often. I don't like the way she plays for me personally. But I know that's just a personal preference thing. But that's not something that's influencing this take here, but that's just how it is. A silver lining, if you're interested in learning quick swap, Zani plus Spectre River is a decent gateway. It is. If you're wanting to learn quick swap, then Zani and Spectre River is definitely the way to go, because it's very doable. Listen, it's absolutely doable to do all the content with Zani and Spectre Rover, no problem. This isn't a video about why Spectre Rover and Zani is like a terrible team. Absolutely not. It's about the ease of use for a new player and for a casual player. And a warning, if you are going to pull for her and if you're going to get her, that's what you're going to have to be up against. That's really all this is. This is not me saying the team is bad. This is not me saying they can't perform. It's literally just addressing the reality of the situation of you as a player are going to have to adjust how you play and become more comfortable with quick swapping if you want to get the maximum potential out of her. And other teams of similar pull investment would be as equal, okay, as Zani. So again, I don't know why Kuro decided to make a character like this, to be this inflexible, but here we are. So just be careful when you know, looking at your reruns of 2.7, and just be mindful if you're a new player of the rerun trap and what would come with it. But yeah, regardless, have fun with your Zanis. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Have fun. I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next one. Peace.